153210. Okay, so I would like you to imagine around the 6000 BC, a herdsman, which this is about the Mongol Empire time. Herdsmen at this time decided to start milking their various cattle, anything ranging from sheep to small cows, maybe even goats, not so much. But at this time, when they started milking their herds, they were placing their milk not in bowls or containers, but they were actually sticking them in the stomachs of deceased animals, which would have been their cows and their sheep. What this resulted in, with the various heats in the Mongol Empire, which is in the Turkey area of Europe, with the various heat and the enzymes from the stomach of the deceased animal, they resulted in a thick, creamy substance, which later became known as yogurt. As time went on, this substance became a staple food not only for the herdsmen, but also for Genghis Khan's army. Later on, in the 1700s, they started adding sugar and various fruits for flavor. And ever since then, yogurt has really taken off. What I'd like to share with you today is not only the history, as I've just described, of yogurt, but how to make yogurt on your own, because it's actually really not that complicated. So, the first thing you'll need for making your yogurt, as it says here, is a half a gallon of milk, a half a gallon or half a cup of live culture, which is usually just store-bought yogurt. You can use citric acid if you would like, but it takes longer, and it's a little more complicated. The reason that you need live culture for your yogurt, like in the process of making your yogurt, is that the bacteria required comes from your live culture. And that's what you can gather from your citric acid as well. You can use frozen bacteria, but it's also kind of risky because sometimes you can actually kill your bacteria. So the next step is how to make your yogurt. It's actually quite simple. You're going to heat your milk to around 200 degrees. You want to let it cook for around 10 minutes, but you do not want to let your milk boil. What you're doing at this stage is pasteurizing your milk. You're killing off any bacterias that you do not want in your milk that could be harmful to you possibly, but you're also restructuring the protein of your milk so that when it cools back down, it's not in a separated state, but more of a solid state. So as the directions say, then you're going to let your milk cool down to between 112 to 115 degrees. This can take, depending on what you cook your milk in, this can take anywhere from an hour to 3 hours. It really just depends. As soon as it hits this temperature stage, though, you need to get it to moving on. So you're going to want to add your live culture at this point. You don't want to stir it too roughly, though. Otherwise, doing that, you can kill your bacteria and also mess up the genetic structure of your yogurt. So as you add it, then, as the directions say, you're going to pour it into the thermos and keep the yogurt at a state temperature for at 110 degrees for 4 to 6 hours. In my research, the longer you keep your yogurt in the thermos, the more tart your yogurt's going to be. And also the thicker it's going to be because of the heat, and it messes with your protein and causes the structure to thicken even more at this point. The health benefits of homemade yogurt, you have less filtered protein. In the store, when you buy yogurt, they have homogenized and pasteurized your yogurt to such a point that you're really not getting the good bacteria and the digestive properties that you would actually expect or that they claim to have. When I made yogurt for the first time, we actually used a whole milk, fresh from a cow with cream. We had a much thinner yogurt, but it was amazing how much different it tasted. and how good it made you feel after you actually ate it. I noticed increased energy, focus. It was actually quite impressive. So in conclusion, there's why we're excited. But in conclusion, homemade yogurt is not only a healthier alternative to store-bought, but if you do the math, it's actually much cheaper to make your own yogurt than buying it in the store.